Hello and welcome to another episode of Slice and Dice eCom. I'm Josh, the founder of ClickSlice, and in this episode we are joined by...
I'm Matt and I'm head of sales.
Awesome, it's actually Matt's first time on the podcast.
On a podcast, yeah.
On a podcast,
In
actually.
any podcast.
Yeah, no, welcome.
Thank you.
So in this episode, what we want to discuss is, it's not really a topic, but it's a lot of misconceptions and myths that a lot of brands have when it comes to SEO. And as you handle all of our sales calls at the agency, you probably get this more than anyone now.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start off with the basics, right? Like, what would you say are the biggest myths about SEO that you frequently encounter from the leads you speak to?
So guaranteed results is the biggest myth that anyone can have, that an agency's guaranteed them they're going to be number one within 2 weeks. It's just not possible. Other things that we sort of hear, well, I hear regularly is can we guarantee that you're going to get number one in Google within 2 months? And we just can't ourselves because we don't own Google. So effectively, it's the main myths that I hear is from other agencies promising the world and under-delivering. Agencies promising they can do it for about £200 and get the results for it just isn't going to work. And then predominantly is time, is people not giving enough time to actually bed in and make it a success. Yeah,
it's a shame because I think a lot of brands don't obviously realise that, and when they go to two agencies, one's like, yeah, I'm £200 a month, I'm £6,000 a month. Oh, it's a better value for money. I'll just go with that. He's doing 6 links, he's doing 6 links. So there's got to be no difference, right? But I think with SEO, it's all about the quality and not the quantity. And
yeah, absolutely. And I think recently in a recent pitch that I did this week is we had a client who was looking at us via another agency who was a lot cheaper than us, and they actually went with us because of the quality. And more or less we're actually double the retainer, but because we're double the retainer, actually the service we're offering is far superior to what they are. So I do say that we are a premium boutique agency, but we get results.
Yeah, I think that's what matters, right? And even that £500 a month deal you think is a great deal, if it's not making you money, it's actually, there's no value into it whatsoever, right? You're just wasting money.
I mean, to be honest with you, we turn away a lot more since I came on board. We turn away a lot more people to us than we actually take on, because we just don't want the aggravation of actually them saying, Google reviews mean everything to us. Our reputation means everything to us. And I just feel that by not having that strategy in place in terms of, this agency says they can do it for £200 a month, why are you better? To a certain degree, I'd prefer that you went with the £200 a month agency and came back to us when actually you didn't get the results you were promised, and then actually prove that we can do exactly what we say we can do.
Which happens quite a bit, right? Like
the
email I sent you yesterday was someone who spoke to us earlier in the year in March, and they said to me SEO wasn't the right thing for them right now, and they went away, and then they come back to us literally yesterday saying, we've been stung by another agency, so they went elsewhere, and now they're coming back. And it's not just the money aspect as well, because money is very important, but they've wasted now almost an entire year of growth, which means their competitors are now a further year ahead of them. So it's not just money, it's also time as well, which is incredibly
I did a pitch last night, and it was a discovery call with a brand who has been working with another agency for about the past 3 months. This is their 4th agency they've worked with, because they just haven't been promised the results and they haven't delivered. In terms of the retainer they're paying, we are more expensive than their current agency, but already the quality of what we discussed, some simple things like, are you using your PPC search term reports within your SEO strategy? No. Well, how are you writing content based on what you know is converting? And I feel a little bit like it's okay to pay cheap, but you're going to get cheap. If you want results, you've got to go premium. People will disagree with me on that in lots of different ways. But the truth is that I have over 20 years experience in online marketing. You have many years experience in online marketing, ranking websites number 1 all over the world. We are who we are because we do what we do. And I just feel a little bit like if you want the be proactive, then obviously you go with a boutique agency. If you want to go with someone who's going to charge you £50 a month, £20 a month, you're going to get what you get. And that may sound harsh, but I just want to make sure that we're honest about it. And in the past week, there's been four discovery calls that we've had several evenings this week. We've turned them down ourselves because we don't feel that we're going to get the results.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I guess another myth that
actually doesn't help the targets though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'll say to you, like, targets are not targets. If we hit them, then we drop down below them again.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like sustainable targets, right? But another myth I used to hear a lot when I did the sales course was like, yeah, we'll do SEO. And how long do I have to do it for? I can just do it for like 1 month, 2 months, and I'm done. Like, so is SEO a one-time thing?
No, it's not. I mean, in the past week, I had a company come to us and say they've got a certain amount of budget as a one-off budget, and the budget was okay. But then the idea is then they're going to drop that down to about £400 a month thereafter and try and maintain the results. It's not a one-time hit, and we turn them down because of that. And effectively, you have a strategy in place, whereas if you do it on a one-time hit, you're going to expect your competitors to stop what they're doing whilst you don't progress yours any further, which is just not going to happen. So effectively, you're hoping that they're going to stop, and when they don't stop and they continue, they're going to go over you. So it's an ongoing process, and it's not something you can do for, say, 6 months, 7 months, and then stop again, because that's not going to work either. So effectively, it is an ongoing process.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good to highlight, because a lot of people do think ranking number one is the end goal. And it is the goal to some respect, but we rank number one for eCommerce SEO agency, Shopify SEO agency. Does that mean we no longer do SEO and we just sit back and relax? Hell no. We are getting more aggressive now at number one to maintain and sustain those rankings. I think that's a really, really important part to touch on.
Absolutely. Back in the day, I used to work for am I allowed to say an old company I used to work for?
Why not? Yeah, it's a ClickSlice, Slice and Dice.
So I used to work for Watchfinder, and back in the day, you know, our biggest competitors were Ernest Jones, Beaverbrooks, HS Samuel, and then watches.co.uk, Watch Shop, and big brands. And we got number one for watches, and we maintained our number one for watches because we maintained our SEO and our processes in front. We dominated the market, and WF & Co continued to dominate the market. And it's a great example of, if you don't take your foot off the pedal and you keep pushing, the brands you feel that you couldn't, that are superseding you can't beat. We beat everyone. And continuously in the clients that we work with now, we beat everyone and we dominate the market like our own.
Just being consistent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Consistent. So in terms of dominating the market, right, goes on to my next question or myth. Mm-hmm. A lot of brands have said to me in the past that the more keywords we target, the better, right? Is that always true?
So I remember someone saying to me that I'd prefer to have 1,000 keywords in the top 5 than 100 keywords in the top 3. And I said, that's great. But if your 1,000 keywords only have 10 search volume a month, if you think that number one spot in SEO possibly will get 35% of the overall traffic that comes to it, so you're talking 3 clicks. So it's not that. So I'll give you an example. We were very lucky to work with a fantastic sunglasses and glasses company. And, you know, the search volume around that is huge.
Massive, yeah.
And, you know, the generics do the bulk of the work. And then you obviously go down, 2 scale, 3 scale and 4 scale, you know, long tail keywords, and you keep going down and down and down. And obviously those keywords do have good buy intent, but they're not going to bring the masses. And essentially it's that the masses element which is going to feed the business and actually work on getting you the data to build up what you're currently doing in terms of your sales.
Yeah, agreed. And it's like brands that say to us on calls, like, yeah, I'm ranking number one. I'm getting loads of traffic. I'm doing SEO, but I'm not seeing any more money come through. It's like, oh, doesn't make sense. Let's have a look at your keywords you're ranking for. And it's all informational blog posts. How, why, can.
It is, but then also there's no conversion rate optimization work being done. Yeah. There's a lot of blogs that so one of the points that we have as part of our whole solution is we include CRO with all of our packages.
Yep. Yeah.
And one of the main elements is what we do is we go through all the blogs. We then look at the search intent. We look at the opportunity in terms of, you know, do you have call to action buttons? Do you have product images? Do you have product sales? You know, how are you feeding these people back from the information blog who are now engaging with you and your brand to actually buy your products? And we talk to brands that are multi-million pound brands all the time. And the majority of them do not have a CRO strategy. And, you know, they do fantastic internal linking, fantastic, you know, going after this keyword, 100%, completely agree. But if there's no commercial value, it's a bit like social media to a certain degree. Like a lot of people back in the day was like, right, just put a post up and that's all you need to do. No, there needs to be a commercial element to 100%. It. Otherwise, social media management agencies would be out without a job. So I do believe there's a big myth around that and how people interact with it. But I do also find that, over time, you focus on your generics, your long tails will come with it, and you have a content strategy which will match it.
Yeah, and just like increasing authority, it compounds across every page, right?
Yeah.
Which is the great thing about SEO. It compounds, and I think a lot of brands will treat SEO, social media, as a tick box exercise. Are we doing SEO? Yes, great. Are we doing social media? Great. Did the post go out today? Yes, great. But what are you getting back from that?
Yeah, but as a tick box exercise, it doesn't work.
Horrible.
It just stinks. It's like when you go to the gym, you get in the treadmill for 10 minutes. And then that's done. You're done.
Tick it off.
You're
Treadmill done.
But how's that going to improve your physique if you're not adding weight to it, or if you're not adding something else to it on top of it, and continuously working on yourself to optimize yourself? It's the same with your website. You continuously optimize it and work with yourself. SEO is not a tick box. SEO is a foundation to all marketing. And it should be one of the best sources of traffic that you have as a business.
Yeah, we love search intent. We love organic, right? We love it. Yeah. No, awesome. Well said. So another myth is it a myth? I'll ask you. Is a lot of brands say SEO is immediate. Have you heard that one before? Because most people say SEO takes 12 months to kick in, but have you heard brands say to you, nah, SEO is quick, right? Like my friend owns a massive brand. He does some tweaks and he ranked number one.
To be honest, no, because I sort of say that at the start. If you think this is gonna, we get people say, right, they need to earn revenue straight away. Well, in that case, SEO is not for you. PPC is. If you need,
I'm more honest about that. We tell them up front.
Yeah, and they said, well, no, SEO is definitely what I want to do. No, it's not. It's PPC. Because if you need sales, if you've got this amount of money now, and you're going to run out if you don't get the sales in now, then SEO is not for you. And there's a fantastic company that we're speaking to at the moment, and he hasn't got enough budget at the moment for our foundation package. But it's a lovely brand. It's a fantastic brand, and it will do very, very well. But we actually put him on the back burner and actually moved him to PPC because he needs sales now. And with that, if we were to take him on as an SEO client, we would actually be disingenuous in doing so, because he needs sales now. So it's horses for courses. People do believe it is an immediate. Long tail keywords can be very immediate, can be within a couple of months, even a month. I've had long tail keywords for obscure terms show in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not a good strategy to think that it's going to be immediate, no.
It all depends on the site as well, what's been done in the past.
100%.
Because the other perception that a lot of brands have is like, I'm going to do PPC over there with this guy and then do SEO with this guy, and they treat them as two different, literally completely different strategies. Why is that a complete myth, and why should you not treat them as two different things?
So it's quite funny actually, because we working with a client now. They do, it's a little bit morbid, but they do. They're in the funeral industry, and they have an agency for SEO, which is ourselves, and they have an agency for PPC, which is another agency. And we had a call with the PPC agency, and we now collaborate very closely because we know that what we do will affect what they do, and what they do will affect what we do. And if we work closer together, it will get a much better performance. If it is completely separate and neither of us talk to each other, it's just lost.
We're just shooting in the dark.
Yeah, we're just shooting in the dark. And then you get finger pointing. You get, the ClickSlice aren't doing this, but we're doing this. They're doing this wrong. Well, and then I'm saying they were doing that wrong. And it's just not beneficial for any agency. It's similar to when you have internal marketing teams as well, where someone's very guarded over their segmented area within the business. And we don't tend to even work like that, because it's the idea is that it's a collaborative feeling, a collaborative move. But you do find that people do separate it out, and it's just not beneficial.
Right way. No, I agree. A lot of people are speaking about this with TikTok, ChatGPT coming out. They believe Google's dying and people no longer use Google. What's your thoughts on that?
I use Google all the time from a personal point of view. But then the Google sort of market share is still 91.4%.
47%,
47% to be exact. So effectively, if they're still that dominant in the market, ChatGPT has a place in the market. TikTok has a place in the market. Google, if anyone thinks that Google hasn't started to think about, 10 years down the line with how chat is going to work within the SERPs. I think you're sorely mistaken. I personally think the best way to work within that is that you use what you enjoy using, whether it's ChatGPT, because ChatGPT also isn't as updated, in my understanding, as regularly as what Google is and doesn't have as much history long term as what Google does. Will it keep up? Will it match up? Will it actually overtake? Possibly. We don't know. I mean, it's revolutionised AI. No, we're talking about a year ago, and now everyone's talking about it. So my personal opinion still is Google still number one, and I personally use Google still.
Yeah, same. Like I said, like Google having 91.47 market share.
Yeah.
Literally 90% market share. That's insane, right? And I think those platforms have their place. Like if I'm looking to go out for dinner, I want to find a restaurant in London, I'm probably going on TikTok, like restaurants in London. It's a better user experience.
Looking for a McDonald's nearby.
Yeah, McDonald's or KFC, right? I find that straight away.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for a business or like a B2B search term, I'm not going on TikTok.
No.
So I think it depends, and I think it will have a bigger impact on some industries in comparison to others. So yeah, I guess it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
So staying on the topic of ChatGPT, right? What about AI content? Like people are saying, I make my brand new website on Shopify. I'm going to spam 100 blogs using ChatGPT, copy, paste, upload it. It's just as good as written content.
Do you ever do you ever go on YouTube and look at things like, how to make money quick, like options and so
marketing videos?
Yeah. So effectively, there's a lot of them use ChatGPT, combine that with Canva, do it automated, put Canva together and actually put a video with it, and then put a YouTube short together, and then you'll be a millionaire tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So effectively, ChatGPT content, if the amount of times you read a ChatGPT content and you see discover through the content, it's not there yet. Google has come out and said that they do not have a aversion to it. They do not feel that they're losing that sort of propensity to actually make that work. But then my argument is that at some stage it's not going to be a much greater opportunity or greater thing that you can actually work towards. And I do believe when you put all of that in place, it's just not quite there just yet. Yeah. And I think obviously human content is always going to outweigh Google content, outweigh AI content 100%.
Because it's personal, right? And we do that for our clients. So we use AI to create the briefs and the structure it. But when it comes to writing, you need that human touch.
Yeah,
and
you do.
I think what brands really like about our service as well is when we write the content, you can jump on a call with the person, Emma, who wrote the content. You have that human interaction. You know what you're paying for. It's quality, it's value, and the content just ranks so much better as well.
I do. Sometimes you actually think about it. If you're on Google Maps or something like that and you're going somewhere, but there's a shortcut. But the map's not telling you that alleyway down there does accept cars going around it. You know that because you're a human. ChatGPT doesn't know that yet.
It just uses on the map. That's less miles. Let's go that way, right?
Yeah,
that's a really good analogy.
So
I like that.
That's a different way of looking at it, in my view. Yes, it's good. It's helping lots of businesses. I think it's got a fantastic place in the market, but you do need to add the human element to it, without doubt.
Awesome. So last one is probably another big misconception. We discussed it a little bit briefly already, but I want to make it clearer again. Just hit home. A lot of brands think that once you rank number one, again, job done. And I'm going to stay there forever. Why is that not true?
Is all the competition going to stop as well? That's the truth. The competition won't stop. You stop. Is Argos going to stop their SEO marketing strategies? Is B&Q going to stop their marketing strategies? No,
definitely not. Building bigger teams,
and they're going to supersede you. So with that in mind, you have to always be constant. You always have to be there and moving forward. And the minute you stop, you stop.
So I think another point to touch on as well is, even if you do stop and your competitors stop as well, if there's a future Google algorithm update that comes out and your site suffers and the other sites don't, you're going to drop.
Yeah.
Even if, like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. There's so many variables in SEO.
Every algorithm always has some hurt to it on a website. I mean, even within charities, we've been speaking to a fantastic charity there in brain injuries. They've suffered in the recent update, in their update, and that's a charity who have got fantastic content. They are the authority on the subject,
100%.
But unfortunately, they've had a bit of a dip because of an algorithm update. So they're now having to work on a way to, they've lost a vast percentage of their traffic. So they're now coming up with strategies to actually get that back. So even charities and organisations you wouldn't think of have to maintain.
And it's very hard to rebuild that momentum and start again. And there's a lot of things you can do to avoid getting hit by penalties as well.
There is,
and it's
future-proofing.
Yeah, I speak to a lot of agencies. Also, a lot of friends that run agencies in the UK and US as well, and Canada actually. And they say the same things. But how do you deal with algo updates with your clients? Like all the bad emails. I'm like, we don't really have many bad emails. Like
back in the day, do you remember when you had PBN networks?
Oh, private blog networks. Yeah.
I worked as a troubleshooter for agencies because several of the agencies that we were working for at the time, they were all running all their clients on PBNs. Yeah. And it was either Penguin or Panda came in. I think it was Penguin. Which then actually decimated PBN networks. And literally you had multi-million-pound organisations lose their whole SEO overnight. This is hundreds and thousands of jobs. Yeah. And that's one thing that I think people don't think about when they say about, let's stop SEO. You've got employees, you've got staff, you've got to make sure you future-proof your business to make sure that you're here in 20, 30 years. SEO can give you that foundation, but not if you stop.
Yeah, if you cut corners,
and
you're
if you
building
cut
your
corners.
business on a very weak foundation.
Yeah.
No. Also, that was great. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Any more questions you have, please submit them below in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. I've been Josh, that's been Matt, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Look forward to it, guys. See you later.